Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gold Standard with Alan Mosley, and here's your host, Alan Mosley.
Welcome back to the Gold Standard. What is this, episode 12?
This is 12, man.
We're solidly in the double digits.
We're in the double digits now.
Yeah, so it's not just going to disappear in like a week or something like that.
It still could, I mean.
So welcome back to the Gold Standard. I am your host, Alan Mosley.
And I'm Blake Osborne.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. This is terrible.
I know, this is great.
If you want to catch us on social media, follow us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/TGS Alan Mosley. You can follow me on Twitter at Alan M. Mosley. And what you really need to do is just go to our website, which is still kind of new, but it has all that stuff on it. So why do I still say everything?
I don't know. Just go.
Just go to our website, which is www.thegoldstandardpodcast.com.
Right on, man. You're getting better at it, dude. See?
We're doing all right. We have another guest today.
We do.
And it's not just any guest,
That's
mind
right.
you. We're not bringing on some academic nerd.
Smart person.
We're not bringing on some smart person. He didn't hear that. Shh. Today's guest is the host of the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, the Rock and Roll Libertarian Experience, as well as the creator, author, illustrator, and everything else of the Liberty Force comic. You can find Johnny Rocket Launchpad at johnnyrocketlaunchpad.com, as well as get your issues of the Liberty Force comic at libertyforcecomic.com. Well, that sure is nice.
Yeah.
This is the man himself, Johnny Rocket.
Johnny,
how are you doing, man?
Yeah.
I'm good. How are you? I kind of resent the comment about me.
Well, I mean, we're just
fine.
Yeah.
You know, guess what? If I was an intellectual, I wouldn't be doing a radio show. I'd be in like some fucking college going, it's Buffett.
Yeah, that's right.
Sipping on a martinis. No, fuck it. I'm a fucking radio guy.
Well, you know what they say though is that the people. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what they say though is that the people that wind up in academia as teachers are just the people who failed at doing something real. So that's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that in certain regards. I mean, I don't want to insult our heroes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think you're kind of right. I mean, what do you do? I teach people things. Well, have you ever held a job? No. Well, then fuck off. You know, like, why are these people telling me how to live my fucking life, and they can't even fucking get a real job because they have to live off the state? Fuck them. You know, so most of them anyway. I say the Mises Institute is cool. All right, so.
Oh yeah, well we've talked about this before because our audience doesn't know this, but me and Johnny are good friends. We're brothers from different mothers. We
are.
Yeah, absolutely. And
we drink a lot over the phone.
Yes, that's right. Johnny calls me up at like 2 a.m. and says, "Hey, listen, what do you think about this?" And then he just hits me with this mind-blowing idea, and I'm like, "Where does that come from? What, like Saturday night?" Sunday morning at like 3 a.m. That's when Johnny is hitting his stride of this is how I'm going to change the world.
I'm usually in bed.
Alcohol's the inspiration. Coffee is the execution.
There you go. I like that. We got to write that down. Yeah. See, I didn't do my little spiel at the beginning of the show. I got my note cards here, but my note cards are actually blank this week. So that's just. I knew I wasn't going to need them. We're not going to need any notes for this episode.
We're not going to need notes.
Yeah.
I think we can play it by ear, pull it out of our ass. It's cool. It's golden like a shower.
Yeah.
But like this, you know, I'm honored to be here on the Gold Standard, and this is a great show. You guys have great production value. You and Blake are really cool. I mean, I like your dynamics between the two of you. I mean, that's a skill that takes a while to learn. So
yeah, we just beat each other up in the bathroom a few minutes ago. So
yeah,
you guys are like in the bath stalls next to each other, and you looked over, nice class ring, and then you guys became friends.
Yes,
I didn't graduate in '96.
Yes, that's exactly how it went down. Literally word for word.
He was there.
Yeah. He was in the other stall, just peeping.
I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was in the other stall.
All right, let's start off with this. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad, Rock and Roll Libertarian Experience. So yeah. I know that we've talked about this personally, but we got to get it out there on the air so that people can share in the delight, which is our personal conversations. So. Sure. You know, rewind, what 5 years ago now to the beginning of Johnny Rocket Launchpad? Is that how long you've been doing the show?
Yeah, I'm actually. Let's rewind 4.5.
4.5
ish.
So rewind 4.5 years. You've got this weird idea in your head that you're going to start a show. What was your thought process of, I want to do a show, but I don't want to do a show that is like inside the actor's studio with some students and we're talking about academic. I want to have my own spin. Where did that come from?
Well, like I was in the music business for 8 years, and after I was in the music business, I mean, I figured, I was an entertainer. I was a frontman in a band. And I started getting into these ideas of libertarianism, thanks to Ron Paul and Penn and Teller. And I started getting into these ideas of libertarianism. And I said, you know what? What's fucked up is I listen to all these conservative talk radio shows, and they suck. I mean, they fucking suck. I mean, they're not entertaining. There's no music. They're a bunch of, like, well, we need to stop the kids from smoking pot, and it's just not. Those kids, and it's like, fuck off, man. So like I figured what we needed to do is to create like a hub for fucking cool libertarians that weren't square, because there's a lot of square libertarians, let's face it. But I think the most important thing is I wanted to create a combination of entertainment and liberty. And I think that there isn't much of it. I think a lot of shows are not really fun. I mean, they're like very. If you ever listen to libertarianism.org, it's like, fuck, man, you might as well grab a pillow and go to bed. So like I was trying to get into these ideas, and so I think it's really about entertaining the audience. I mean, if you say some shit, some blue humor and some bullshit like that, it will get people up and fucked up, and they'll be like, this guy's crazy. But it's entertaining them. But maybe in the back of their head, they'll be like, well, maybe this guy has something. Maybe this guy has a point. And so that's like my inspiration behind the Launchpad, was just to get a couple people on the show who had different ideas, and we can combine these ideas and have a different cast of characters. Like you have one character who's the straight man, you had another character who was the radical, and you had another person who was like more like for the people, like, more like like I don't think most people would disagree with you, the person who questioned my radicalness. Mm-hmm. And so that was a great dynamic that was born. And then as further and further the show went on, the more radical and radical I became, because I started to research and actually read books. See?
Oh, God forbid. Yeah, we saw the bookshelves in the back. That's hey, ladies, that's how you know he's a keeper right there. He's got a bookshelf.
I do. I actually have a few of them, and but I do read. I've read like one of that book and 4 or 5 of them over there, but that's just for show. I just want to make people think. I'm not, but I listen, and I think that's what makes people smart, is they listen instead of talk, and that's kind of hard for me because I have to fucking talk all the time. I'm a radio fucking host. Yeah. So.
Well, that's why we have you on, because I don't want to talk. So I'm just going to listen to you.
Hear me fucking blabber for a fucking hour.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is that you were talking about sort of making that combination of like entertainment and education. I think you've done a pretty damn good job, because you started a show that is a lot more hip for the kids than your typical libertarian.org, but you've had on some pretty brainy guests over the years. So it's not like you were just pulling people off the street saying, "Hey, do you hate the government?" It wasn't like that. You've had some pretty heavy hitters on the Launchpad.
I have, and I'm honored. I've actually met some great people, and I've learned so much from a lot of these people. I mean, they inspired me. Actually, finding them was half the battle. Just getting through the red tape of libertarianism. Are you a statist? Are you not a statist? What group do you follow? What camp of libertarianism are you? I've heard all camps, and I'm actually going to say I'm a Miesian, and I find that their ideas and their values and what they believe are the best. But I've had heavy hitters, and I've had Gary Johnson. And I always tell people this. Gary may not be a libertarian, but he's a really nice guy. I mean, the guy will fucking drink a beer with you, and I'll give him credit on that. The biggest guest I think I've ever had was Tom Woods. And Tom is just I mean, Tom is the nicest guy in the entire. I mean, if anyone ever says shit like that again, Nick Sarwark, you're a dick. Fuck off. Tom is a nice person and should not be harassed by the Libertarian Party. But I'm part of the Libertarian Party, so I don't know. That's kind of a situation. Go ahead.
No, see, this is why it's great to have you on, because we've got guests booked out. Our audience doesn't know this. We need to start having like little graphics of scroll like coming up next week and stuff like that. Just when I think of cool things to do, Johnny, I always look over at Blake and say, "Hey, we need to do this." Because what I'm actually saying is,
and I just shake my head.
Yeah,
nope,
you need to do this. That's what
how.
I'm actually saying. Right. But we've got some cool guests coming on in future weeks, and some who are more involved with the LP National than others. As a general rule of thumb, this show is not. I'm not in any official way affiliated with the LP. That is not by accident. That's on purpose.
I don't know what that means.
No,
yeah,
horribly. And here's how Alan, how I view the LP is this. There's no, I mean, if they are going to win, they're going to win local elections. Mm-hmm. And if they do continue to do that, that's great. But I think the most important thing about the LP is to educate the old people. I mean, because those are the only fuckers who vote. So, I mean, that's where we start, is we start educating the older people through the LP with people with suits and ties and all that other bullshit. And yet we keep the principles pure from radicals like me. And this is how we balance the system out. We're never going to win an election if we don't change the culture. Mm-hmm. And it's a culture war that we're in right now. This is really where we're at now. Most people are glued to Netflix. They're glued to NPR. And this is what I want to do is I want to stop that nonsense, and I want people to start listening to libertarian shows like A Gold Standard. And Sherry Voluntary's new podcast. She's awesome. I fucking love Sherry. She's one of the most wonderful women I know. And this is what we need to do. We can't do it by sitting on our ass. They're going, we're going to shove academia down our throats. You're not going to fucking do anything. So why are we even bothering? Like, I'm all for fuck the system. Fuck that bullshit. We only live once. And if we spend our time wasting it going, well, we'll meet you halfway. Fuck you. That's my point.
Now you said you're a Mises Institute lover. You're a Misesian as your libertarian camp. So does that mean you support the Libertarian Party Mises Caucus?
100%.
100%.
I love what they're doing. I mean, I think they're bringing economics back into the Libertarian Party, and I think it's imperative that economics is libertarianism, especially Misesian economics. And I think that's the route that we should be going towards, is educating the public on Austrian economics. And if we don't have economics, people can't really think. Like, what about the children? That's the left's argument for everything. And us as libertarians, we need to stand up and go, the children will be fine. Yeah. Quit fucking using them as a scapegoat to push your fucking propaganda and your legislation. Mm-hmm. So this is what I get pissed about.
Well, let me ask you this. This is something that Blake and I were just talking about before the show. Sure. I was talking about outrage culture. That's kind of where I feel like we are right. Like, everybody knows everybody's polarized into tribes and camps. That's been talked about ad nauseum. But something I like to look at is that we have this outrage culture where it seems like every week there's a news story in the press that everyone immediately runs to their tribes and starts harumph, we're really mad about this whatever event that's going on, whatever issue is the issue of the day. It's outrage culture. And, of course, the first thing I would say right off the bat is I don't think people are really that outraged. Like, everyone, they have to be seen as being outraged. That's that, what's the word I'm looking for? That's that moral signaling that they like to do. Look at me, I'm outraged. Oh, virtue signaling. That, oh, look how outraged I am. Mm-hmm. But I kind of take a little bit of the Peter Schiff approach to this, which is I understand that people are outraged about the crappy stuff that goes on in the world. They should be. But it's our job, or I guess my question to you would be is that, so what is an effective way in your mind of taking those outraged people and saying, you're completely right, you should be outraged, we're not happy either, but let's point our outrage in the direction that makes sense, not just start lashing out at everyone who doesn't look like us or think like us?
I think that they should just channel their energy somewhere else. I mean, obviously people are pissed, but they don't know what the problem is. See, people are pissed and they want legislation to correct legislation that was created to correct further legislation and then to correct more legislation. Why don't we just stop making legislation and start fucking going back to natural rights?
Right.
So like, don't hurt people, don't take their stuff. Matt Kibbe's book makes sense. I like that phrase because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What we should be doing is fighting for our freedom, not fighting for more government. And I think people have the construct of government in people's heads have become twisted. Schools are teaching that government is the only thing that can solve problems, and the market is right there in front of their faces, correcting any deficiency in the world. So then why are we still relying on this entity that inefficient, overspent? They actually force us to fucking pay for shit we don't want to pay for, and we have to support things that we may morally disagree with through force. Why? So this is where we have to shift that culture into thinking, well, maybe we don't need this. Now, I'm all for the freedom to choose and the freedom that people have the right to smoke, the right to drink, the right to do whatever. You have the right to do whatever you want to your own body as long as you're not hurting anyone else. And this is where it boils down to. People can't get that through their head. Well, you know, I have this statement. I say, one of my bosses is like, well, Johnny, you don't believe drinking and driving should be a crime. Well, no, it shouldn't. Did anyone get hurt? Well, no. Well, then if you were driving down from the bar one night and you may have been over the legal limit, but if you're driving down the road trying to loosen your load, you got worlds of trouble on your mind. And that's the Eagles reference.
Yeah.
And you're like swerving, now you're endangering someone's life, liberty, or property. But if they're 10 and 2 and they're on the road and they're being responsible and they don't hurt anyone, it's no victim, no crime. So what I'm also saying is that this is how society, I think, our culture needs to start viewing things. If you are intoxicated and you hit somebody, you hit somebody. That's the crime, not because you're drunk. So that's how I view it. It should be even across the board.
Well, first of all, the Eagles are my favorite band of all time, so I love you that much more for you bringing that up. But you mentioned a couple of things, a couple of like hot button words there. First, you said natural rights, which you'll never hear me say this again, Blake. If there's one thing I wish we had that Pee Wee's Playhouse had, is I wish we had our secret word. It would be natural rights, and then the lights go
things
off,
would go
and
ballistic
everybody goes ballistic. So you said natural rights, which is something that we totally get. And I don't even see how you could have a debate against it, because it's just such a natural, peaceful coexistence to accept. And then you went on with no victim, no crime. That's another big one. Is that think how many people would be out of the correctional process right now. I mean, we use the correctional process really loosely, but think how many people wouldn't be in prisons today if their immediate actions either didn't hurt anyone, or if it was purely financial, they were made to do some sort of restitution financially, not go sit in a cage.
Right.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Millions. We're talking millions of people.
But you know, this whole natural, now hold on, the natural, what did you say that was again? Natural
rights.
Natural rights. Yeah, I mean, natural rights are understood by normal thinking people.
Whoa.
You know,
I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
You don't think they are?
I think the problem, I think there are a lot of intelligent people out there that if you were just sitting in the grocery store line with them and you said, oh, hey, you dropped your coins or whatever, they would be perfectly normal people. But they don't genuinely get or don't genuinely accept that natural rights should trump their feelings on issues. I don't think so at all.
Okay. I'll buy that.
I agree.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about natural rights. I mean, it's very simple. Like, you don't need to be religious and you don't need to have legislation to understand those basic principles of natural rights. Again, it goes back to the concept of don't hurt people. Yeah. We know this. Like, we should not go out of our way to hurt people. Now, unless it's in self-defense, and I'm all for that shit. You know, fuck it. If that dude's coming at me with a fucking gun, I'm gonna have a bigger gun. And but at the same time, it's about peace too, because I mean, most of the libertarians I know come from the right, and that's understandable, but they just don't. I think they understand that taxation is theft, and that I guess it's more or less that if as long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not taking anyone's property, you're not invading anyone's land, then you're kind of coexisting without any legislation whatsoever.
I think the disconnect on an intellectual level with perfectly intelligent, rational people otherwise is there's the class of people that are looking at the quote greater good that would say that, well, I'm all for your property rights and I'm all for liberty and all that, but we have to be willing to put safeguards on things because we have to look out for the greater good of society as a whole. I think the disconnect comes where that's what we're arguing, is that from a principled standpoint, we don't agree with that because we value individual right among all else. But we're also arguing that if you did that, things would be better for the whole. It would be better all the way around.
Right. Like I was saying before, that most people believe that the government is the answer to every problem. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we have created a monster that will continue to grow. And if we are all led to believe in public schools, which is another topic we can discuss later, that if the government is the answer to every problem, well, we're fucked. We're fucked, and we're never going to be free. And this is what's bothering me, is it frustrates. I'm not outraged, like I'm not outside fucking holding a sign, and I do that on the radio show sometimes. But I mean, I'm not so outraged. I'm just frustrated, and I'm saddened that this is happening over and over and over and over again. Yet, historically speaking, this is exactly how empires are formed and how our rights are taken away, slowly but surely. And I'm trying to fight it every day, man. I'm trying to get on the goddamn radio, and I'm trying to tell people, listen to me. Please fucking listen. I'll play some fucking rock and roll. I'll play some music. I don't give a fuck, but just listen to what I have to say. I mean, I don't know what to do, man. And we're in trying times right now because, a lot of people say, well, the pendulum swings. Not really. I think the pendulum swings, but government still grows. Either left or right, the fake left-right paradigm, it doesn't fucking matter. We're fucked because the government is going to continue to grow, and we're going to be fucking under Hitler.
This is such a cheery sunshine episode, isn't it?
I'm feeling
There's a lot of optimism in the air right now as Johnny takes a drink.
That's an interesting analogy of pendulum. It's like the government gets bigger, and they're the pendulum, and they swing harder from side to side and faster, smashing everything in the way.
Well, what Johnny had just brought up, talking about like that fake left-right paradigm, left, Democrat, liberal, right, conservative, Republican, and as if there is no other area of that's all there is.
Yeah.
You're left or right. You can't be anything else. You must be in
two
a camp.
extremes and no middle.
Yeah, but the point being is that if the pendulum has swung left in the last 30 years, the government grew and we went further into debt. And when the pendulum swung right, the government grew and we went further into debt. So if those are issues that you believe in, then you don't have a place in that paradigm. You are the other person who doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yes, it's the third paradigm. Yeah. It's the third party. It's the person who's saying, you guys are all a bunch of fucking assholes. And let's look at it from an objective point of view, that you both are bankrupting this country because you're trying to put your morality, the right is notorious for that, is putting their morality in the legislation, while the left wants to put social programs in the legislation. So they're both evil. And by nature, but I don't think they're evil. I think there's good people in the Republican Party, and I think there's good people in the Democratic Party as an individual. But as a collective, they're all fucking assholes. And this is the problem. We believe in the system, and I just think really the system is fucked up, and we just need to get rid of government. And we need to get rid of all this and let us govern our own lives instead of having some fucking asshole in a suit who doesn't know how I live or my neighbors live, tell me that I can't do this, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I have to do this. Bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you to the 10th power. As Roger Paxton would say, fuck you in the neck. So that's how I...
Wow.
Do you think now would be a good time to mention to Johnny that we do a PG-rated show?
Yeah, it's a
No,
little
I'm just kidding.
You're
I'm just kidding. By
dude.
the
We're
way,
kidding.
yeah. No, I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up. You had mentioned Tom Woods earlier, who as being like one of your biggest guests. Who was like, it's my dream to talk to Tom Woods. I got to meet him really briefly at his 1000th episode thing down in Orlando.
Nice.
As a funny little story, real quick. So we were at the 1000th episode of Tom Woods' celebration that he had down in Orlando, and like Eric July was there, Dave Smith was there, Michael Bolden was there, Sherry Voluntary was also there.
Okay.
Nice.
But we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
So we were just walking right by each other the whole time. We were all there in the room. We just didn't know. Yeah. So it's the moral of the story here is that there is hope, because believe it or not, there is a libertarian community.
Yeah.
Which just
just needs to come together.
But hold on. The reason I brought up Tom Woods is I saw an appearance of his. He was on Ron Paul's Liberty Report recently, and they were talking about public education and homeschooling, because I know you had mentioned education a second ago, and
Right.
and one of the big points that Tom brings up that I want you to comment on is it's. Of course, on a lot of principle levels, we're against public education and the crap that gets spewed in government schools. But it's not just that. It's that if you look at it just purely from a business perspective, if you look at the money that gets invested in public schools, and then you look at just this flat line or sliding scale of terrible test scores. Kids are quote unquote getting a degree from high school, but they read and write at like a 6th grade level if they're lucky. They can't do long division, but they've been in. So your kid goes to a government school for 13 years, and they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, and that budget goes up all the time, and yet they're getting a really crappy education. If that were a private business, if that were Walmart's school and they were spending $1 billion and everybody got a crappy education, you would never hear the end of it.
Even if it was a private school.
There would be people with torches marching in the street saying we have to have government come save us.
But what again, we're going to go back to the government where they eliminate competition, and they're the only ones who truly have a monopoly, right? So when we have a monopoly of something, they're the ones who rule it. So when people say, well, antitrust laws, oh, they're so bad, IBM or Windows or Bill Gates or whatever, and he's a fucking perfect example of a capitalist. He's a fucking cocksucker, but Bill Gates is a perfect example of a businessman who has gained his wealth because he has created value. If public schools do not have any competition, if you don't like your public school, what do? You complain. You write a letter. I'm gonna write these guys a letter. Fuck you, But they're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna change any fucking policies. They're not gonna change their staff. They're gonna do nothing because they have nothing to fear. And so, as a business, you actually have to fear. If you do something stupid, if you don't provide customer service to your customer, you're fucked. That is the beauty behind private schooling, because therefore lies competition. When you have competition, each school will provide a better product. And when you create a better product, we're going to have a better education system. We could be light years ahead of our time if we just didn't have the government involved. And a lot of people go, well, what about the Department of Education? If we didn't have it, we wouldn't have any schools. Fuck you. That was created in the 70s. So I don't know what they're smoking, but the Department of Education was just pretty much recently created. And we didn't need those fucking departments and more bureaucracies. The best teachers are the ones that really want to do it, and they really want to change shit, and they really want to make a message. And even if you don't even like their message, if you're in a private school, you could tailor your message as a parent, like, well, this school's a little bit more conservative, and this one's more libertarian, and this school's more, liberal. Then the parents have an option to send their kids to whatever school they want. But now everyone's fucking subjugated to fucking liberal bullshit propaganda. Thank you. I'm done.
Yeah, okay. No, that's great. I think. Tell me if you would agree with this. I think one of the main, if I'm trying to be really nice and not use colorful language, I would say that one of our biggest issues is that a lot of people out there, because you said that there's plenty of genuinely good people that identify as Republican. There's plenty of good people that would call themselves Democrats.
Absolutely, I think they're hard.
I think the problem is that there's this severe lack of imagination amongst people as society as a whole that if you shut down the option of government being a potential solution, then they're out of ideas. The list is empty at that point. If government is not a solution, then they're like, oh, well, I guess the world's just going to cave in on itself because I don't know what to do. It's a shame that we've reached a point where there is such a lack of imagination, or really just education in general, that people can't possibly fathom any other way. That has to be like the biggest single hurdle that we have as like a movement.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad, man. I mean, it really is. I mean, they're just tools. I mean, I just feel like the average citizen, whether or not their heart's in the right place or not, they're tools. I mean, they're taught shit that they don't really know history. They're taught horrible history. They are not taught economics. I mean, I've never met any high school kid who is taught economics. I could be wrong, but most of them are like, we didn't have economics in high school. I'm like, okay, I figured. And I mean, this is where we're at right now. And people cannot think for themselves. And it's so easy to go with the flow and stand out. I mean, as a young kid nowadays, I mean, if you go against the grain, you get fucked with.
Yeah,
I mean,
with bullied.
Yeah, and it's like, why can't people think for themselves? I mean, I remember I was a fucking dickhead kid, and I remember like I had a bunch of buddies, and there was this one kid who was an atheist, and I was in a pretty Christian area. I'm not Christian, but at the time I didn't really know what I was. But like that guy's atheist, and we're like, ooh, ooh, that's bad. And it was weird because like I was in 7th grade, Well, but that kid's an atheist. His parents are atheists. They're weird. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's weird. But I'm like, peer pressure is a motherfucker, especially when you have this like agenda, And so if I was an atheist kid, I would just shut the fuck up and wouldn't tell anyone I was an atheist, So, and I feel bad for people who are libertarians and conservatives in the public school system because they get fucking harassed. I mean, if any kid wore a Trump shirt to school, I guarantee you people would be fucking beating his ass.
Yeah.
Because he's racist.
Yeah.
See, that's why there's no problem with wearing a Murray Rothbard shirt because they have no freaking clue who that is, so they wouldn't even know any better. Yeah.
No. And I wear a display of patches, but I do it just because I'm there to piss people off, and I do it. I mean, it's fucking awesome. Well, like, why do you wear that Confederate flag? I'm like, well, I'll tell you why. Because I lived in the South. Oh, you did? Yeah. That's the state flag of Mississippi. You didn't know that? I'm from Mississippi. Oh, you are? Yeah. Oh, okay. And they back up. Fuck you, you fucking asshole.
Immediately you're judged 6 ways to Sunday for that little flag, yeah.
So I have this weird feeling then that you're not shedding tears for people that are offended when their neighbor's flying a Confederate flag or they've got a monument to Stonewall Jackson or some shit like that.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. And I find it hilarious, though. Like, because, I mean, in theory, I am all for people who are of gay, bi, trans, whatever. I mean, I don't care what you do. I mean, I'm not, like, going to go to your gay pride parade and march with you, but that's fucking awesome that you're doing it and you believe in something. And I support those people who do it because they have a right to speak.
Yeah.
However, don't expect me to fucking fly a gay pride parade flag out in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my right not to. I chose not to. I'm not saying that those people are wrong. I think that they believe in something just like I believe in something. But at the end of the day, we got to realize that don't fucking tread on me when you don't like my flag. And I'm not a Confederate person. I don't have a Confederate flag. None of that bullshit. But I think it's hilarious because I wear it just to piss people off to see what they're going to say to me. and they don't say much. They just probably think I'm a racist asshole. But that's fine. Let them judge me. That's fine.
Now, I want to switch gears here real quick. I'm pulling up LibertyForceComic.com. So we've talked about the launch pad. We've gotten to know Johnny Rocket. So tell us a little bit, for people who don't know, and if you don't know, then, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? Tell us about the Liberty Force.
Well, I drew comic books in high school. And so one day I just had this idea with the cast of the original Launchpad. I said, well, it'd be cool to, I know how to draw, Like, I thought it would be cool to, like, fucking draw a comic book. Because I grew up with Marvel Comics, and I read them all the time. I had a Wolverine collection. I had Wolverine #1, and it was all, like, mounted on my wall. I looked like a nerd. And, yeah, I never told anyone about it, but I had a whole collection of X-Men and Wolverine and Spider-Man. And I figured, hey, I really would like to do this again and kind of incorporate some of my talents that I think I'm okay at and draw a comic book in space. And I always thought it would be cool to do like a sci-fi comic book. So basically I have this world that was created that there's this entity called the state, and there's 3 soldiers in the state that don't know they're the bad guys. So I always bring up this point, like, does the stormtroopers really know they're doing the wrong thing? Mm-hmm. Do the stormtroopers think they're fighting for freedom and democracy and justness? Of course they are. They wouldn't be on that team if they thought they were the bad guys. So I bring that point up in the comic book, like they're in space and they're on this mission and they find this ancient base called the launch pad. There's a reference to the radio show. And they find this base, and the base teaches them about libertarianism and how things were 1,000 years ago. And something that they were never taught because there was so much propaganda in the current situation that they're in. And that they learn the true history of the world or the universe. And then they find out there was this ancient power called the Liberty Force, and it was first harnessed by a race of aliens called the Rothbardians. And the Rothbardians, utilize the Liberty Force, and each character or each they use the Liberty Force to harness and channel their powers, their superpowers that are unique to these things called axioms. And the axioms are these roles of which to defend liberty. And so each of the characters get to experience a different role. The Liberty Force chooses them, and they are granted powers based on their personality type and what their abilities are. So basically, the Liberty Force chooses its bearer of power, and then they end up finding out that the state has been wrong and corrupt and fucked up, and now they're out there fighting it and fighting and spreading liberty. But what was cool about doing the book is that the characters are learning about libertarianism with the reader. The characters in the book are learning about it with the reader. So it's not like this is like a propaganda comic book. It is. But it's easier to understand, I think, when you break it down to a very simple way to let the actual reader understand with the character and actually have doubt. So like, I didn't want the characters to be like, oh yeah, I'm in, fucking sign me up. I wanted the characters in the comic book to have a little bit of doubt and to show, hey, you know what, maybe this is opposite propaganda. Maybe this is all bullshit. So I wanted to have a little tension between the team in the comic book. So that's what the Liberty Force is about. And right now I'm on issue 2, and I'm working on that very hard. I've been on it every weekend. And it's going to be even better than issue 1. I mean, because I'm just taking my time, and I really want to make an impact with issue 2.
So I'm gonna pull it back up here real quick. So LibertyForceComic.com is where they can get issue 1. They can get digital copy. They can get the actual comic. They can get bundles. They can get it signed by Johnny Rocket himself.
Yes, yes.
So you got all these different options. So
and now we got shirts.
Yeah,
so
now you've got the shop. I'm gonna go to the shop
awesome.
real quick so everybody can see because I'm gonna have one of these.
Yeah, these are cool.
So we've got the shirts that are for the Liberty Force, and you've got the different axioms, so they can be one of the heroes in the comic book, which is really cool. So that's Blake. I'm Speed of Sound right there. Just FYI.
Rocking.
Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm gonna get. That's my Halloween costume. But let me say, tell everybody here real quick. So you're working on, that's issue 1. You're working on issue 2. Is there an ETA for issue 2 dropping?
I'm looking at October.
October this year.
Yeah, and between October and Christmas, the reason is I want to kind of have it for the holidays. So it's like you can bundle it with your Christmas gift. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it. But I'm putting a lot of extra time into the book than I did. The first one I felt like I was kind of rushed because I had my own personal deadline. But I think October it will be done, and there's just a lot of work, and I'm just putting a lot more effort into the artwork than I did in issue 1. I think issue 1 I was kind of learning the program, but what's cool is issue 1 was drawn with a mouse, so like, man, I'll tell you what, man, drawing with a mouse is kind of cool. I've gotten good at it, but like it's different. So I had to kind of, issue 1 took me a while to kind of learn how to draw with a mouse instead of a pen. Yeah. And, but now I have Alexander Meyer, who is the colorist of it and graphic designer. And he also did the website for Liberty Force. So, which I'm really happy with. I think it looks really good. So he's doing a great job. And he is from the New Agorist Beer Company. So if your listeners are interested in libertarian beer and they're on the West Coast, it shit is awesome. It's great beer, and he has sent some to me.
So let me ask you this real quick while we're on the comic book kick. So what was your favorite Marvel hero growing up?
Who do you think?
I mean, you said Wolverine. Is it Wolverine?
Oh fuck yeah, cat got an ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Bear shit in the woods.
Hey, Wolverine is definitely one of the best X-Men as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually I was kind of like my entire childhood I was kind of in debate with myself. I liked Wolverine. He was the coolest. But I kind of had a thing, like a connection with the character Cyclops.
Really?
Yeah. Because he tried hard. He had ambition. He was a natural leader. Well, Wolverine questioned him. And I liked the dynamics between their characters. And they were both after the same girl.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of cool. But, yeah, I guess Wolverine. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. I got you. Well, I want to switch gears here as we're coming down to it. If we can hold on to you for a few more minutes, we can hit a few of our current events that we've got in the stack. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna
grab a beer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna skip straight to the meme of the week because if we don't do the meme of the week, then this whole show is ruined.
Can I get a beer?
Yes. Go forth. You can grab a beer.
Yes.
Johnny's gonna go grab a beer. I'm gonna pull up the meme of the week. This is the meme of the week for this week.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's one of the balls. This is the Great Britain ball that says he's giving you the thumbs up sign of when someone breaks into your house and guns are illegal, so you go for a knife, but those are illegal too. So you grab a screwdriver and defend yourself, but you still get charged with murder.
Yep.
Now that sounds ridiculous, and that's our meme of the week. But this is actually coming from a news story that was in the news this week. I'm pulling this up. No, I'm not going to whitelist you. That's just how it's going to be. Sorry, Daily Caller. We'll get you later. So this comes from Derek Hunter of the Daily Caller. Elderly man defends himself during home invasion, gets arrested on suspicion of murder. And this was in London. A 78-year-old man in South London is currently being held by police on suspicion of murder. He was a victim of a home invasion of two guys who broke into his house this past Tuesday night. And one of those two guys is dead. Now, that's the base of the story right now. From what we gather from the story is the second guy is still at large. The guy who died was identified as a 38-year-old who had backed the elderly guy into his kitchen while his partner was running through the house scoping out stuff to steal. And this guy fought back, managed to get his hands on a knife, and he killed the intruder. He kills the one intruder, the second one runs away. Wow. And so naturally, Great Britain being the bastion of Western culture that it is, they've arrested the 78-year-old elderly man for murder.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
I mean, what do you say about that? It's just, I mean, what's this world coming to? You can't even defend your own life.
Well, it boils down to property rights.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. I mean, like, if you don't have property rights, then what do you have? Then
Right.
we don't have a society. So, like, the guy had every right to fucking kill that dude. And I'm sorry that, like, oh my God, you said kill somebody. Yeah, fucking kill him. Yeah, if you're breaking into my house, you're a fucking dead motherfucker.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring up this story this week is, for one, it was related to our meme of the week.
Yeah.
And two, it goes to show you that if you don't think that there's a cultural war going on that we are losing fast, then you have not been paying attention. Like, I mean, we're in the United States. I don't really care a whole lot about what goes on in Great Britain, but I use them as an example just because for centuries the British Empire, for better or worse, and there's plenty of worse, but for better or worse, Great Britain was the center and height of Western civilization for centuries, and that once great empire of Western civilization and culture has devolved into arresting the 78-year-olds who kill a guy in a home invasion.
Right.
That's where they are now.
I don't want to step on Blake's toes here. Blake wants to say something. I know.
No. Go right ahead, man. I'm listening to you. I mean, hey, I'm here to learn, and that's what my job is. I learn from you guys. You know.
Listen, Johnny. Blake, and I'm telling on Blake here for a second. I'm telling on Blake first. Blake is a great friend of mine. He's an amazing. If anyone who's seen the show knows this is not me. Alan Mosley didn't do this. Blake did this. But Blake, not even 6-8 months ago, was probably more a traditional conservative.
Yes,
Southern Christian conservative,
and still hold on to very traditional Southern conservative values, even though I struggle with them daily, especially hanging out with you guys.
But you're struggling with them. But you're struggling with them now. Why is that?
Well, I mean, honestly, the reason is because it makes a lot of sense. I think that traditional conservatism comes a lot from, and without insulting anyone, truthfully, comes from Christianity, and not that that's a bad thing, but, a lot of the moral code that I think that the right tries to push on everybody, even though its origins come from that, have devolved into this I'm better than you because I'm rich kind of thing, where it doesn't make any sense to me. But, the libertarian point of view works. It makes sense because, hey, I'm a true believer in a golden rule. Do unto others as you'll have done to yourself. I mean, heck,
that's kind of what we're talking about with natural rights.
Yeah, and that is the foundation of natural rights. And I mean, if you don't want somebody to kill you, don't kill them. If you don't want to, be robbed, don't steal somebody else's stuff. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, elementary crap.
That is that light bulb moment that you're experiencing, where you've gone a lifetime being told that if you fall outside of the paradigm of Hillary Clinton and Paul Ryan, anyone outside of that is insane. You're a crazy person.
I don't need a government to tell me that. I don't need liberals.
But all of a sudden, you hear a different point of view, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not nearly as crazy as I was told. And so now you start to second guess, why were those people telling me not to look into this?
Yeah, because it removes their power.
To each their own, and that's a hard thing for a lot of. And again, I came from the right too, but it's really hard for a lot of people to digest. I mean, especially when you're so passionate about your ideas and that I am morally right. Well, what your morals are kind of subjective, just as how you value things are subjective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You might enjoy a martini over a fucking bourbon, right? Well. That's your preference, and your preference is to be this moral character that you want to portray, which is fine, which is great. I respect the fact that if you still hold some moral, conservative religious values, that's absolutely great. And I'm not saying get rid of those. What I'm saying is don't force those ideas on everyone else.
And I never would. And that makes me a little different, is that even as somebody of faith, I've always believed that it's my place to let God do what God is going to do in somebody else's life and not point out to them that something's wrong. And that's where I believe a lot of the church fails.
Sure, and I'm with you on that. I mean, like, if I was religious, I would believe that too. I mean, I'm with you. Like, it's awesome that you're convicted, or you have so much conviction towards your cause, and I never stop giving that up. But you could be a Christian and a libertarian also.
Absolutely.
I think, and this is where it's so beautiful that a lot of people on the right want to legislate their morality to others, like, don't do drugs, don't do this, don't do that. Like, I always tell people, I fucking hate drugs. As a matter of fact, I think pot smokers, I like most of them, but when people smoke pot, they are stupid, you know? And I'm not saying this to knock people who do smoke pot. I personally don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's not my preference. But it doesn't mean I want to have somebody make a law to, like, protect me against these pot smokers or these cokeheads or whatever. I don't give a fuck. As soon as you get over here in my face, then we got a problem. But at that point, I've never met a pot smoker who got in my face about anything.
Yeah.
Because it's really like, yo, dude, bro.
But somebody gets caught with a joint in their car and spends 3 years in jail is a little bit stupid.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's idiotic.
By the way, like, it goes down to the fact that, like, the government has no right to put anything or tell you what you can put in your body. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, they have no authority to tell you how to live your life.
Right.
That is what pisses me off. And this is the foundation of libertarianism also. Now, if a business, and here's the thing, I said, well, Washington, my state right now that I'm in, you can buy pot anywhere. Like, you can go right here and buy pot. I'm like, whatever. And guess what? Nobody really gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Because why? That guy's doing it legally. He's not getting some weird shit. But it's also the free market that's giving him the option to have different. He has options. He doesn't want to get lace shit. He doesn't want to have shit with LSD in it.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing, but he has the right to put whatever he wants into his body. If you're an employer, however, you have the right to say, well, I don't want pot smokers working for me. Then guess what? Maybe you might have to give and take a little bit as an employer. If everyone in your community is smoking pot, you won't have any help. Yeah. So you may have to bend those rules accordingly. However, if nobody smokes pot in your community, then you have a no issue. Then you could drug test people. You as a private business have the right to dictate your rules and how you want things to be run. A lot of people don't get that. Like, they think, oh my God, there would be chaos. No, there wouldn't. There would be no chaos without government. There would be a lot of spontaneous order.
Yeah. Well, see, I think what you're touching on a little bit is, everyone knows the phrase, the freedom of association. Is that a lot of people, when they hear that, when they're taught that in school, they're taught that to mean we have the right to congregate, which is true.
Yeah.
But a real freedom of association also means you have a right to not congregate with people you don't want to associate with. And of course, you go out and say that and you're wearing Johnny's jacket with the stars and bar. Oh, you're a racist. You want segregation, blah, 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 blah. But no, it's a simple matter of, it's not a matter of what I want. What I want is for people to self-determine what they want and do it. That's what I want.
And not be a freaking sheep that follows all the other sheep over the cliff. Yeah. Remember the Indians? Do you remember a painting? When I was a kid in history, I was really fascinated with this, and that the way that the Indians of the Great Plains used to kill buffalo. Have you ever seen this story? They would ride their horses. They would gather all the buffalo out into they would what do you call, herd them? Mm-hmm. Herd them into a big, crazy, angry mob, and they would literally chase the buffalo over a cliff. all the buffalo would all run over the cliff and they would all die on the ground below, and the Indians would go down and they take the fur and they take what they need. So they would kill them in masses because the buffalo were too stupid to realize that there's only 4 guys chasing them, but there's 10,000 buffalo.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's a lot of what I see in people these days, is that they're letting a scattered few influence them to the point where they're getting this herd mentality and they're just going in the direction to run away from the 4 scary things. And they're being steered.
Yeah.
Right. You're right, Blake. And here's the thing, bro. I'm gonna give you my 2 cents, and I think you're going to be anarcho-capitalist in 6 months.
I probably will. Are we losing his audio?
No, we got it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, you're right there. You get it. You understand. Like
I do.
You do. You're right there, man. I mean, like, and this is all people need to understand is that, yeah, like, even though we have this gut feeling, like, you may not like it. Like, I have a buddy at work, and he's like, oh, fucking Mexicans. I'm like, why do you hate Mexicans? He's like, well, they fucking come up here and take our jobs. No, they don't. They do the shit that I don't want to do. They do it for less. And why? Because they voluntarily did it. They voluntarily want to be here and earn money and make a living. I don't want to do what they're doing.
Well,
I really don't.
If you really want to blow people's minds, what you say is that, wait a minute, you don't really hate Mexicans. You hate people that are from that direction from you. Because I mean, there's all sorts of people in New York and Massachusetts and Maine and Vermont and all in California, wherever, that I don't like. But I don't walk around saying I don't like Californians. I don't like those people. So I don't want to be labeled necessarily as a group. It's just you either like people or you don't for different reasons.
And for God's sake, take the time to get to know a people group before you just decide you freaking hate them. I mean, seriously, God bless it. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and I mean, I love the Latino culture, and it wears me out.
Why I like? Yeah, Blake, I'm with you on this, man, because I think we're going to have a shared experience. Why? Because I always tell people, I think that the Latino culture is fantastic just because they're so family oriented and they keep to themselves. They work really hard. They do the right.
They believe in family.
The majority of them do the right thing. And I think that they're, I think they're good people. I think they really are. And they really are trying to make a change in their life. And yeah, Mexico sucks.
Hey, you'd want to leave Mexico too, believe me.
Right. But what I'm saying is, we wouldn't have an influx of people coming here if there was no welfare state. If people honestly wanted to come here for legitimate reasons, man, holy shit, there would be people here actually wanting to do and provide value to other people, not necessarily, but provide value, just like any other culture. It doesn't matter where you're from. Like, what I don't understand is why don't people bitch about the Canadians?
I don't know.
Taking up for high tech.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, joke. My best friend. I did that for him.
No,
but think about it. The Canadian, no one gives a fuck about a Canadian. Oh. Why? They say a lot and they're nice. They're like, hey,
they have good comedy sometimes. Sometimes.
I think they're all nice. I've never met a Canadian who isn't nice. Really, I haven't. They're all fucking nice. Fucking nice. And we're Americans. We're assholes. We're fucking dicks. Why? I don't know.
Well,
But do you agree with what I'm saying, Blake? I just want to throw it.
Absolutely, man. I'm 100% behind you.
Well, it's, we've touched on a lot of topics today. We talked about, of course, we talked about Johnny, but we've talked about natural rights. We've talked about education. We've talked about, the free movement of people, because we're kind of on a little bit of an immigration kick right now. This is a catchphrase. It's become my catchphrase that I've said on several episodes, and I'll say it again. It's that we as libertarians, as anarchists, we believe what we believe based on principled reasons.
Right.
But even if we didn't, even if we didn't, it's still so easy for us to argue against state solutions because the state just does such a bad job of everything they do. They're always so bad at everything they do that it's easy for us to make the argument. It's like, well, I mean, they're bad on the welfare state. They're bad on the drug war. They're bad on education. They're bad on foreign policy. They're bad on immigration. They're bad on everything. Yeah. So that's where we've got to make our opening to talk about our ideas and our principles.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And dude, Alan, you're right. I mean, it's very easy. But I always tell people this. And I don't think this is really right necessarily, but you could be a dick, you could be an asshole, but as long as you don't hurt people and don't take your stuff and believe in natural rights and you're a racist, you can still be a libertarian. Mm-hmm. That's a controversial statement. I'm not racist, and I don't know any libertarian who personally, who is. But we're at this point now where I think we got to say it's about the individual and about expressing their ideas. The racist individual may be racist, and there's nothing. Maybe it's just the way he was raised, but it's not because he's a bad person. It's just maybe from his experience. So what I'm getting at is I'm not saying that we should celebrate racism or anything like that, but what I'm saying is we should celebrate the individual. And again, I'm going to point out that there's good people in the Democratic Party, there's good people in the Republican Party. I may disagree with them. I may be great friends with those people. We may be wonderful people, but doesn't mean I have to agree with them. And so the enough said on that. I just think that us as libertarians, we need to stick together, and we need to make an effort to change the culture in the society. Yeah.
Johnny, man, it's been such a pleasure. You're such a good friend of ours. You're a brother of mine. Even though you're in the Socialist Republic of Seattle, we still love you anyway.
Wow.
I love it. The man, the legend, the host of the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, the creator of the Liberty Force comic. Is there anything else you want to hit us with before we go?
No, Alan, I just want to say to you and Blake, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the work. I mean, this is how we turn liberty around. I mean, we're not going to win any battles. Or no, we can win a lot of battles, but we're not going to win the war right away. But by what you guys are doing, it's influential in preaching this message of peace and freedom. And let's not hurt people, and let's fucking be cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And I think that's what we need to be preaching. And it shows like you that are going to make the difference at the end of the day. You know, people are going to hear your voice, you and Blake talking about these ideas, and we don't have enough of you. I mean, I know there's a lot of libertarian podcasts out there and video podcasts, but you guys are really making a difference, and I think that your outlook on things is very honest and it's sincere, and I think you're doing this because you love what you believe in, and that's your conviction is there. And that's what us as libertarians need to follow, our hearts and our passions and our creative side, and embrace it. And luckily you have Blake, who is a audio engineer, video engineer. He's the man. You two are a cool team because you guys, you know, you got Blake, he's kind of learning the ropes, and then you got you, who's like solid on your principles. It's awesome. It's like a match made in heaven. You guys should get married or something.
I'm already married.
I don't know if we can we do that in Tennessee? I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, man, we're going to hit it again. It is www.johnnyrocketlaunchpad.com. That's where you can find out Johnny Rocket Launchpad. You can listen. You can find him on Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, America's only rock and roll libertarian radio show. And finally, upcoming issue 2 in October, The Liberty Force, which is libertyforcecomic.com. You only got to scroll down twice. You click on all these buttons. You put in your credit card number. Then Johnny loves you forever. Yep. It's just that easy.
I will.
That's right.
That's good. Love you forever.
That's right.
Not in a sexual way, but I love you forever.
Plus, it looks like a stinking awesome comic. So,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, so Alan, really quick, I just want to say that I just launched. I'm going this route, but I really wanted to kind of make the show bigger, and I'm doing a Patreon right now.
Okay.
So if you go to patreon.com/JR Launchpad, it's cool. Like I'm doing like a backstage pass thing, so you can get additional content, and you can check out the show, and you have different levels of membership, which will offer you certain rewards for the show. So please check out patreon.com/JR Launchpad.
There you have it.
I'll put that up on the screen too.
Sounds good, man. We appreciate it so much.
I just launched it like yesterday, so it has like no donators. So
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, how dare you?
Well, we
How
know the
dare
feeling.
you? I know. Johnny, man, it's been such a pleasure. We love having you. You'll have to come back and visit again. You'll have to actually come to Tennessee, where it's just as statist and terrible as there, but we pretend like it's worse out there than it is here. Yeah.
No, it's pretty bad. It's really bad here.
Okay.
It's really bad.
I think that does it.
I have a fort, like I have a bunker out front.
Oh.
He's got a bunker.
Right here in the front here,
Yeah.
I have a fortified position.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And I have my M60 out there in front.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm
can
joking.
You can tell which one's Johnny's house because the whole roof is covered in tinfoil. That's how you can tell. Johnny, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Rock and roll.
He's like,
Thank
All
you.
right, buddy. I think that does it.
That's
for
it. I mean, that's a good one right there.
Yeah?
There's another one in the can, guys. And,
All right. Well, let me hit you real quick. Subscribe to us on
Please
YouTube.
subscribe.
Find us. It is the Gold Standard Podcast, or the Gold Standard with Alan Mosley. You can find us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and that's where you'll be able to find this video, as well as our website, which is thegoldstandardpodcast.com. I think that's it for this week.
That's it, brother. All right. We'll see you next time.
Come back.
Rockin'.